The term community of practice is of relatively recent coinage, even though the phenomenon it refers to is age-old. The concept has turned out to provide a useful perspective on knowing and learning. Communities of practice are formed by people who engage in a process of collective learning in a shared domain of human endeavor. Think of a tribe learning to survive, a band of artists seeking new forms of expression, a group of engineers working on similar problems, a clique of pupils defining their identity in the school, a network of surgeons exploring novel techniques, or a gathering of first-time managers helping each other cope. In a nutshell, communities of practice are groups of people who share a concern or a passion for something they do and learn how to do it better as they interact regularly. Not everything called a community is a community of practice. A neighborhood, for instance, is often called a community, but is usually not a community of practice. So what are the characteristics of a community of practice? 3 characteristics are crucial. Beverly will briefly explain.
Let me begin with the first characteristic, the domain. A community of practice is not merely a club of friends or a network of connections between people. It has an identity defined by a shared domain of interest. Membership, therefore, implies a commitment to the domain, and therefore a shared competence that distinguishes members from other people. Now to the second characteristic, the community. In pursuing their interest in their domain, members engage in joint activities and discussions, help each other, and share information. They build relationships that enable them to learn from each other. They care about their standing with each other. A website in itself is not a community of practice. Having the same job or the same title does not make for a community of practice unless members interact and learn together. And the third characteristic, the practice. A community of practice is not merely a community of interest. People who like certain kinds of movies, for instance. Members of a community of practice are practitioners. They develop a shared repertoire of resources such as experiences, stories, tools, and ways of addressing recurring problems. In short, a shared practice.
It is the combination of these 3 elements that constitutes a community of practice, and it is by developing these 3 elements in parallel that one cultivates such a community.
This e-learning video is produced and brought to you by Skills Academia. To learn more, please refer to the original source and read more about social learning theory and how to build a community of practice. You can do this by visiting the website below. We are grateful for all the fantastic work and invaluable contributions made by Etienne and Beverly.